Hi everyone. I have been getting emails about the assignment that is due next week, the writing assignment. So I want to go over and just clear some things up, give you some guidance over what you need to do for that writing assignment next week. So one of the questions asked was, what's the difference between the primary source project that you're doing this week and the writing assignment? So the primary source project, you're going to read over those primary sources and then answer the multiple choice questions over those. That's the primary source project. The writing assignment, you're going to answer those long essay questions over the same primary source projects that we've done, depending on which topic you were assigned, but you're going to do a long essay instead of multiple choice questions. So it's using what's in the textbook, what's in the actual chapter that covers that, and then also what do those primary sources say. You can pull those in to help answer the question. So I'm trying to give you a variety of different sources to use for the writing assignment that is due next week. So again, I'm going to give you some clarification on some things for that. What I want you to look at, and just FYI, more weeks are going to open up on Friday, so I'm going to have more of these. But if you were to click on this week, chapter 23, it's going to take you, give you the links to the summative quiz, the map quiz, and the primary source project. So let's roll over there. So here's the primary source project, and what I'm going to pull, just going to do the ebook view, which is easier, I think. So here I am in the ebook. Those of you that are doing imperialism, if you want to go back and look at those sources about imperialism, that was back in chapter 20. So you can look at Empire and Wars from the textbook, that's your secondary source. But then if you want to look at those primary sources, click on the primary source project for chapter 20. Same thing for chapter 23, right? If you want to go back and look at the secondary source, what it talks about, dropping the atomic bomb, go to global war, ending the war. And here it's going to talk about the atomic bomb. Then you can also, and if you only have the ebook, if you didn't actually get the textbook, that's cool. Here's the page number if you're summarizing from this page. And then this is talking about, here at the bottom, more about the Manhattan Project and the dropping of the bomb. You can pull from here. And then also there's a link to the primary source project that you're working on too. And some people have been asking, well, how do I cite these primary sources? And that's a great question. So if you want to, I'm going to go back out to the big content view so that we can look at all the primary sources. And let's say I want to use source 23.7. I've summarized some information from there. Maybe I did a short, 7 or 8 word quote from there. Don't do a whole lot of quotes on this. Really, you shouldn't have any quotes. Really, it's just a summary of this in order to answer those questions. But a couple of you have asked, how do I cite these? Because they're not technically in the book. Technically they are, but it's not showing like a page number sometimes. But if you go all the way down to the bottom, there's the source information for you right here. So you can take that and you can change that into MLA format. If you're not sure about MLA format, I'm going to post a link about how to format an MLA, how to change and do just an in-text citation, because you're going to need those in these little essays that you're doing. And then also at the very end, you need to have a complete works cited that probably is going to cite the textbook, and then also any of these primary sources that you're using. You don't have to use all the primary sources, but I do want you to try to use at least one of the primary sources along with the textbook. So you should have a minimum of probably 2 sources. And let's just look at another one. We'll go up here to the imperialism, and it's the same thing. You're going to see those sources at the bottom. Let's look at this anti-imperialism letter. And here at the bottom, there's the source too. And if you want, it's contained, it's in the textbook, and here's the page number that it's in the book also. So there's lots of information. And I'm going to show you how to cite that correctly. Just a second. Give me a minute to do that at the end of the video. So when you're writing all of this, some of you may be saving it like in a Google Doc, or you might be saving it in Microsoft Office, Microsoft Word doc, whatever you do. So back in Blackboard, right, all of your information you get from the textbook, you get from Launchpad, you're going to write that as a Microsoft Word document or a Google document. Try to stay away from a Google document, just copy and paste. The formatting might be a little off when you do that, but that's okay. I'm not really looking for the 1-inch margins. I'm not going to be that hard on you. Really, the format that I want to see, and for MLA format, is I want to see that you're doing in-text citations, and I want to see that you can properly format your works cited. That's all I really want to see from you, so that we're not plagiarizing, we know where we're getting the information from, we know how to summarize it, we know how to cite. That's the format that I'm most concerned about with this assignment. When you click on week 10, the long essay assignment is right there. So those of you that were assigned Imperialism, your questions, your 3 questions that you're going to answer are here. And if you were given the decision to drop the atomic bomb, you're going to answer these 2 questions, right? So it's not 500 words per question. It is 500 words total for either all 3 questions are answered in 500 words or both questions are answered in 500 words or more. Anything less than 500 words I will not grade, and I do not include your works cited. I don't include any titles. Anything like that is not part of your works cited. I'm looking for the meat of your questions that you answer your essay. That's what I'm going to count in that word count. You're not required a thesis statement. Because I'm asking you the questions, you can state the question and then answer it in 3 to 5 sentences. State the next question, answer that one in 3 to 5 sentences, and put those citations in your answer. So when you are ready to actually submit this, click on the assignment itself, come down here, and you're going to click Write Submission. And this is where you can copy and paste it right there, or you can add it. These are the different types of paper or formats that it will accept. So a docx. You shouldn't be using PowerPoint for it. Don't use PowerPoint. You can do a rich text format, TXT, PDF. If you do, I don't want you using a Google Doc because you're going to forget to share it with me. So if you have a Google Doc, just copy and paste and put it right there. Copy it and paste it right here for me. Then you do need to click on this I agree to this because it's going to check, just to double check that you didn't plagiarize, right? You're not copying and pasting, you're not plagiarizing from the internet because you shouldn't be using internet sources at all. And then the add comments, this down here, this is the comment section. This is not where you put your essay. Don't put it down here. I won't be able to grade it correctly. And then once you're ready, let me move this frame over a little bit. Move me out of the way. Once you're ready, then you hit submit when you're ready to submit this and submit it for grading. So hopefully that clears up some questions you may have. I'm also going to put a link in there for those of you that are not familiar with MLA format that talks about MLA formatting and how to do your works cited and how to cite the book and how to cite the sources in the book, the primary sources, correctly for you. It's just a general overview. That's all that is. Again, as long as I can see that you're trying your best, I'm pretty lenient on the formatting part of that. I want you to really answer these questions and use your own mind to answer the questions. Don't copy and paste it from the book. If it's full of quotes from the book, that's not really you. That's not your 500 words that you're putting into it. Summarize what the book says and then put your own opinion into it. You guys that have taken me before know that I value your opinion and your viewpoint. I may not agree with it, but I still want to hear what you say. And if it's historically incorrect, I'll correct it. But if, I still want a little bit of you in these essays. So keep that in mind too. It's kind of different than an English essay where you remove yourself completely. These are supposed to be a little bit opinionated because this is an argument that you are creating, and I want to hear your argument for it, okay? So I want to know, what arguments were made to justify and you can also say, I don't agree with it, but this is the arguments that they made. I don't agree with the dropping the bomb, but this is why we did it. That's okay to put your opinion in there every once in a while. Totally cool with that. All right, if you do have questions, guys, feel free to email me. This is due next week. You've got a whole week to work on it. You feel free to email me if you still don't understand how to do it, and we can flesh it out. We can talk about it more, okay? Good luck.